Hi guys, welcome back to Unfrazzle Me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie Meyer. I have been a runner for 14 to 15 years and my passion is just to share with you everything I know about running. Besides just flat out enjoying this sport, it has been an amazing tool in my own life just through various seasons. Just the biggest source of stress relief with being a new mom as well. And so I'm eager to share just this skill set with you to help you in your journey of parenting, just to give you a little bit of an escape and a little bit of stress relief, and just give you a healthy habit that you can utilize in your daily lives, and a sport that's very affordable and cheap too, because gosh, when you're a parent, kids are expensive. So anywho, let's go ahead and jump into our topic today, which is running with a stroller. My daughter is now 2.5 years old. We have been doing a decent amount of stroller runs. Every now and then it is nice to just kind of break off and do a solo run. Just have that, own personal time and space. But with running with a stroller, there is a whole slew of things that I've been learning or have learned that I would like to go ahead and share with you. This automatically does come with a couple disclaimers anytime you're running with a child in a stroller. I do have to mention that if you are newly postpartum, make sure you have been cleared by your OB physician to engage in running. It's going to be a good month before they say it's okay to run. And that's if you had a normal vaginal birth. If you had a C-section, it's going to be a bit longer before they give you that green flag, the okay to get out there and start running again. And that's if you are doing a solo run without a stroller. So just make sure you have good communication with your doctor, that you have been cleared to run, and that you will not be injuring yourself by going out there. The other disclaimer I need to mention is that if you are putting your infant into a running stroller or a jogger, it is necessary that it be set up just like their car seat. In fact, some of the best strollers out there are the ones where you just snap the car seat from the car into the actual jogger. I think those are probably the best setup. Anytime you're able to multitask with something so large and bulky is great for storage, but it also just gives the best security to your little one. With that said, even when you have the best stroller, it is not advised for you to be running with an infant in a stroller until they have strengthened their neck muscles and have the ability to support their head. Just because even if you're running on a flat terrain, the jarring of the stroller can cause neck injuries. So you want your baby to be at least a minimum of 4 months old before you put them in a running stroller or a jogger, just to avoid injuries to that child. Again, that is also something that you should pass by maybe your pediatrician. Just make sure they're on board and they give you the green flag saying, yep, it's okay to take this particular child in a running stroller. So you just always want to be in good communication with your healthcare providers and have their blessing when you are jumping back into running after a pregnancy. The other types of strollers that do not have a car seat like setup, where there's not going to be as much head and neck support for the little one, you need to wait a little bit longer until they are about 6 months old before you go running with them in a stroller that does not have a car seat setup. Okay, those are my disclaimers. Now actually going into our content today. All about the stroller itself. So if you've never really seen a running stroller or a jogger, if you're shopping for it for the very first time, it's the funny looking strollers with the two wheels in the back and the one wheel in front. So it might look a little bit strange seeing a stroller with just 3 wheels, but it's to give it a gliding motion. As you're running with a stroller, you really should not be pushing it at all. If you are, you're going to cause injuries to yourself. So just the momentum of you running with that stroller should be enough to have it just glide easily. So that is the type of stroller that you're looking for. You really don't need to spend crazy amounts of money on a jogger. For this video, I'm just going to call it a jogger. That's what I know it as. So bear with me. I think we got one on sale that was probably originally $200, marked down to $68. And that one has done just an amazing job for us. I really don't see a big difference between like an entry-level stroller or one that you pay a whole bunch of money for. I actually prefer the ones that are more entry-level. And I guess I'll go into why. Just because they have more storage space. You know, if you're a serious runner, you probably want the lightest stroller possible, but we're not there. We're just jumping back into running ourselves, and we're not planning to do a marathon within the next week or anything. So an entry-level stroller is fine, especially if you have a baby with a lot of needs. Like mine was very colicky. I liked to keep snacks and entertainment, like several bottles of milk in the stroller. So I just packed that sucker full of everything I could. And an entry-level stroller is going to provide you with that opportunity. So that's why I prefer the entry-level ones. Anyway, also make sure that the tires are fully inflated before you go out running. This is something that, you know, it just helps. Speaking from personal experience. If the tires are not fully inflated, then sometimes they just catch a little bit easier, and the stroller will want to tip over. So just make sure tires are fully inflated. It's just a little bit safer. And let's see here. Also just making sure you are finding paths that are as smooth as possible, where there's not a lot of twists and turns. And just flat. Again, you want to avoid any jarring movements and motions with that stroller, for the baby's sake, but also because it will have an impact on you in the long run. It can be detrimental to you. So that is my little piece of advice. I ran mostly on the sidewalks, and we probably aren't supposed to, but I have a very quiet neighborhood, and a lot of the times I'm the only one out there. And it worked very well for me. Let's see. So talking about the baby, which I was kind of going into a little bit, a lot of my notes about the baby in the stroller have to do with entertainment, because that was one of my biggest hurdles. My daughter would get very bored and start trying to climb out of the stroller at a very young age, and would just cry and scream and do all of that stuff. So I made the habit of bringing all of her favorite toys, as many toys as I could, lots of snacks, milk, and then, you know, when you have all of that, you might be running a little bit slower because they'll be throwing stuff out of the stroller, and you'll have to pick it up and, you know, stop and rearrange things again, which is okay. But once they go through all of their toys and all of their snacks, honestly, what I have ended up doing, which I'm sure every other mom does, is just, oh, look at this shoe. Take it right off their foot, give it to them, and they can play with that for a little bit longer. Or their hat. Or, you know, the car keys, whatever. Whatever you have available to just keep them in the stroller a little bit longer, if your child is like mine at all. And then also don't expect too much. I was very lucky to get a mile a day in when I first had Catherine, just because she never liked being confined anywhere. She never liked the car seat, never liked the stroller. To this day, still does not like toys toys with seat belts. So any like little cars that a kid would typically ride around the neighborhood in is a no. So just be patient. Know that you probably won't get the mileage that you're really wanting. But I wouldn't give up. I think it's good for you to step outside with the little one. I think it's good for them to be outside, even if they kind of throw a fit at first. And then, I guess dressing them appropriately too. Being mindful that if you are running in cold weather, you're going to warm up, but the little kid in the stroller might not, because they're not moving around as much as you or exerting as much energy as you, unless they're trying to climb out of the stroller. And then if it's raining, they do make these rain shields. It's just a plastic covering you slip over the stroller, and it is vented. There is air circulation, so it's not like I've had some parents freak out at just the sight of it, but it really is safe. It's okay. It just keeps the rain off of them and the majority of the stroller. Okay. This is the biggest running tip. If you haven't listened to anything else, this is probably the number one thing you need to take away from this video today, is that when you are planning on running with baby, do it around their sleeping patterns. You can do it as they're starting to wake up, because if they're still groggy and just starting to wake up, usually the very first thing they want is their bottle, and they will stay on that for a while. Or if you are familiar with a certain time of day that they usually doze off and start to fall asleep, schedule your runs to be around their nap times. You will be able to go so much further. And once they're asleep, they stay asleep. Pretty good in the stroller. So that's where you're going to have the most success. Let me scroll down my notes here. We're talking about the mom. We're talking about you now. Okay, let's see here. So when you are running with the stroller, you want to make sure you're holding in your abdomen, because your core supports your whole skeletal structure as you're running. So make sure you're holding in that abdomen when you are running with your stroller. Make sure that your running posture is very similar to what it would be if you had no stroller. If you are leaning too far forward, or your arms are like in a very awkward position, you want to avoid those, because again, those poor ergonomics are going to cause injuries. A lot of runners end up, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I personally don't do it, but a lot of runners will run to the side of the stroller. They'll have one hand on the stroller and they'll run off to the side. I believe that's how my husband runs with the stroller, and it's just to allow for a longer stride. If you have a larger step, if you're a faster runner, that's probably for you. I'm okay with slowing myself down and just trying to maintain the best posture I can. But you will go slower if you're, two hands on the stroller and running behind it. So that's something you can try if you feel like you're going way too slow and want to speed up, is just step out to the side of the stroller and keep one hand on it. But you might alternate hands, because otherwise you'll get the carpal tunnel, and that's not good. Okay, so we already talked about not having crazy expectations as far as distance, but if you want to increase your distance, go around nap time. If you have earbuds in and you're listening to something, make sure the volume is nice and low so you can pay attention to your little one in the stroller. Make sure you can hear them and know what their needs are, and make sure that you are able to hear your surroundings and the traffic around you, just to stay safe. I always advise staying close to home. So if you live in the suburbs, just stick around those sidewalks and in your neighborhood or the next neighborhood over. just because there are an immense amount of needs between you and the little one. I suppose that is about it. We talked about the stroller, we talked about the baby, we talked about you. The other thing that I might mention, I hate to end this video on this particular note, but if you are newly postpartum and you are running for the first couple times, you might pee your pants while you're running. So if you're having that problem, do your Kegel exercises. That's, I don't know. Yeah, you just need to. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them below in the comments. If this was at all helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or the like button or the bell to be notified when more episodes pop up. All of my content is around moms running, sometimes with children, mostly as a way to de-stress and reclaim herself through life's craziness, which is why this is called Unfrazzle Me. So I guess that's it. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for your time. I went as fast as I could because I know your time is important. Talk to you later. Bye.